All right, a key part of President Trump's legislative agenda, I believe is what that is supposed to say, is expected on the House floor at some point today. This is a big test for House Speaker Mike Johnson, who will need to bring in members from his own party who may not be on board. I'm going to bring in CBS News congressional reporter Taurean Small, who's on the Hill for us. So, Taurean, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries is calling this a Republican budget scheme. What does that mean?
Quite wary of some of the extensive cuts that House Speaker Johnson is looking to undergo as part of this massive budget resolution plan. We saw that he announced it will be about $2 trillion in cuts. Of that, about 800 million plus in mandatory spending under the House Energy and Commerce Committee. I should note in that panel's purview is Medicaid. So Democrats are raising the flag there, saying, listen, this is an about face from what Republicans talked about on the trail, how they wouldn't be touching Medicaid. Now they're saying it's time to reform that program and make some very significant cuts there. We know that this is part of Johnson's plan to offset this massive expansion of the 2017 Tax and Jobs Act. That would add about $4.5 trillion to the national deficit. Some Republicans, hardline Republicans and fiscal hawks are saying that that's just not enough. More cuts need to be made in order to effectively balance the budget in their minds.
So as we said, this is a make or break moment for Mike Johnson and his speakership. How does he get those Republicans who are on the fence about the budget to rally? I mean, he's got to do this, Taurean, this week. Normally, there's a couple more days to sort of whip those votes. He's not giving those members time to sort of come to a decision where they might move to his position.
Yeah, Vlad, not just this week. In a matter of hours, we'll see the first procedural vote for this massive budget bill, and then ultimately a vote around 6 o'clock this evening. Whether or not that goes forward is still TBD because, as we know, leadership is looking to whip up as many votes, especially those on the fence votes, as possible. We know in the past couple of hours, people like Representative Victoria Sparks of Indiana, Thomas Massie of Kentucky, already announced that they won't be supporting this bill because they think it isn't effective enough, like I just said, in some of the more deep spending cuts that they want to see. Chip Roy of Congressman, a pretty prominent leader on the House Freedom Caucus, also said that he shared some of the same concerns as Sparks and is interested to see where this conversation goes. I know that Speaker Johnson has been doing a lot of backdoor conversations and meetings with some of these on the fence members, including moderates, many of them who had problems with the idea of touching Medicaid, especially after, again, talking about on the trail how they were looking to protect it. So this is going to be a tough task and a true test of Johnson's leadership. We saw him get the job done when it came to his speakership, even though there was a significant pressure campaign mounted against him by some of the more hard right members. Now we'll see whether or not those conversations, those negotiations will pay off for him when it comes time to bring this bill to the floor, Vlad.
All right, Taurean Small for us. Taurean, as always, we appreciate it. We'll be checking in with you throughout the day.